Hi guys, welcome back. So I wanted to quickly film an update for you guys since the last video that I posted. I started off the week so strong, and I had already filmed 2 videos for you guys, and I was in the midst of editing them so that I can get them uploaded this week. But then on Tuesday, the 1st, of course, I got hit with something kind of out of the blue, unexpected. So this video is going to be about how my week went and how I unfortunately ended up in the emergency room for 12 hours long on Thursday night going into Friday morning. It's Saturday, April 5th. So I had just gotten discharged from the hospital yesterday morning around 5 a.m. So if you guys are interested, please keep watching. You still make me smile, though you love this guy. Baby, you still make me smile, though you love this guy. Alright, so I don't even know where to begin. I started off the week so strong. Monday was fine. I woke up early. I was so productive in the morning. I filmed a video for you guys. I got myself ready for work, went to work on Monday. Everything was all good. And then the next day on Tuesday, I woke up feeling kind of just off. Like, I didn't necessarily feel sick. I just felt off for some reason. Like, I just felt out of it. And I decided to call off work. And I really hate calling off work, to be honest with you. I have had, unfortunately, to call off work a lot in the last 6 months, and that's gonna kind of tie into this story. But I usually don't call off unless I really just am very sick and I just can't get myself out of bed. So Tuesday, it was a different feeling. It was like I could have pushed myself to go, but something just felt off. I was thinking, okay, I'm just gonna take the day off today. I'll go back to work tomorrow, and then everything's gonna be fine. I slept in, and then I woke up in the afternoon, and all of a sudden I started feeling so much pain. I was having stomach pain. I was having body aches. I was so tired for some reason. Like, I could barely keep my eyes open. I ended up sleeping all day on Tuesday. I ended up telling myself, if I don't feel better by like 6 p.m., then I'll go to the urgent care to kind of figure out what's going on. I did end up going to the urgent care around like 8 p.m. I took the last time slot available. So I went at 8 p.m. and they checked my symptoms, and they basically said that I had like a little bit of a stomach bug and that it was probably, not a big deal. So they just gave me some antibiotics to help with like my nausea and my fatigue. And then I had really bad headaches too. Like, I had this pounding migraine, and I'm used to getting migraines, but this type of headache was different. It felt different. I was just in a lot of body pain and head pain, of course, and stomach pain also. And I just felt so exhausted. And they did test me for COVID and strep throat, and I tested negative for both. So that was fine. So luckily they gave me a doctor's note to be out of work until Thursday. And this was Tuesday night. So they basically gave me a note to be out of work Wednesday and Thursday. Now, the thing about me, and one of my hugest downfalls, I always love to just push myself when I shouldn't. So on Wednesday and Thursday, I sent my boss my doctor's note on Tuesday night when I got home and got settled, which was like around 11 p.m. And I let him know and let my team know that I will be out until Friday. And I attached the doctor's note and everything like that. And me, I'm just such an overthinker too as well, and I worry and I panic about everything. So I basically told them like, hey, I am gonna be out for these few days, but I promise I'm gonna log online and I'm gonna, try and get as much work as I can get done remotely. And I think that was a big mistake, because I tend to always want to just work, and I hate feeling, even though I shouldn't feel guilty about needing to take care of myself and needing to address my health and to rest and get better, I still feel this sense of guilt whenever I call off work, and I feel like I still need to work from home, even though I should be resting and I should be focused on my health and all that stuff. So I don't know if that had something to do with how the rest of the week went, but basically on Wednesday, I logged on in the morning and I was only able to work like 3 hours. I think I only worked from home for 3 hours, and I had to turn off the computer because again I just felt like I started getting lightheaded, I felt dizzy, I was still having stomach pains, I just still didn't feel good. I was thinking to myself, I'll just work for a few hours and I'll get back on later. It's so unlike me to do that because I work better when I work from home, to be honest, and usually I could stay on my computer and I can get through like 8 hours straight of just doing admin work, of course taking little breaks here and there, but I just could not get myself to log back on for some reason, and I don't know if it was my anxiety, I don't know if I was just stressed out, I have no idea. The rest of the day I kind of just didn't get back online and was able to log back in again on Thursday morning. But the same thing happened again, and I was only able to work a few hours, and then again, same feeling. I just felt so out of it. I had to close the computer again. I couldn't get myself to do even the smallest tasks like getting through my emails or anything like that. I was getting more and more symptoms as the days were going on. On Wednesday morning, I woke up with a huge swollen throat, and it was only on my left side of my neck. I had a huge swelling right here, and then I felt like a little lump on my neck over here. And of course, in my head, I'm thinking the absolute worst. I'm like, oh great, I have a lump in my neck, like that's it, like it's over for me. My brain just goes to worst case scenario like all the time. Immediately, I was kind of stressed out and worried about that, so I was like, let me just monitor it and see if it ends up going down. Ultimately, the swelling did end up going down later on in the day, but I had the worst headache ever. Like, I get headaches all the time since I was in high school. I suffered from migraines, but this headache was so different. Like, I took a bunch of Advil, I was hydrating, I was resting, I was drinking fluids, and nothing worked at all. The Advil didn't even slightly alleviate any of the pain, and I just felt like miserable. I felt completely miserable. Oh, hi, baby. You want to say hi? You want to say hi, my love? Mwah. My cats are making an appearance today. My baby's gonna stay there. This is my little boy. My little boy. So on that day, I ended up calling my mom, and I was not trying to freak her out at all, but I'm totally my mother's daughter. Like, me and her have the worst anxiety ever, and our brains always just go from 0 to 100 real quick, and we just think like worst case scenario. I basically just called her while she was at work, and I was telling her about my symptoms, and then she was like, okay, I'm coming over. And I was like, no, it's not a big deal. I was like, I basically was just trying to tell her what symptoms I was having and asking her advice on whether I should go to the emergency room, if she thinks I should go to the emergency room, or am I overthinking? Maybe wrong person to ask, but basically she pretty much was like, no, it's fine. Like, I just want to come over. I want to come see you anyway. So of course she comes over, and she was feeling the lump on my throat, and she did say that my left side of my face was super swollen compared to the right side of my face. And basically she was like, I think we need to go to the emergency room. We ended up going to the emergency room. It was miserable, absolutely miserable. I hate going to the emergency room, honestly, but for the last 6 months, I have been in this vicious cycle of constantly getting sick, constantly getting stomach bugs, constantly being told, oh, you just have the flu, or you just have COVID, or your body aches and all of that. It's just COVID, it's just a bug, you'll be fine. And I've been to the urgent care probably once a month, so in total like 6 times in the last 6 months. I've been knowing that something larger and more serious is going on. I just didn't know what it was, but I knew it was something bigger going on. I kind of was relieved that we went to the emergency room. Of course, it took 2 hours, I feel like, just to be seen. So they took my vitals and everything, did an EKG on me because I did have shortness of breath. And then finally I got admitted to a room. After a few nurses came in, they took a blood, a urine test, all the usual tests they make you take. And the doctor came in finally, and at this point it's already, we got there like around 7:30 p.m. I want to say, and it's already like midnight or 1 in the morning at this point. And so I'm already cranky, I'm already like falling asleep. I was just really aggravated because I'm like, this is taking forever. But granted, I know they're doing their best because they're always so overwhelmed, obviously, in the emergency room. So I was trying to be patient. After telling the doctor my symptoms, the doctor came in, and what I actually loved about this doctor is she kind of sat down next to me and she was like, all right, so tell me everything, tell me everything that's going on. And usually doctors don't do that, at least in my experience, but she wanted to know like the whole scope, of course. So I basically told her everything. I'm very worried and nervous about my brain and my head, because I have been having a headache all week long, and it's been so persistent and it's been so strong, and it hasn't let up at all despite medication and staying hydrated. So I was very concerned about that. And then I did tell her about how I was having these stomach pains. I felt pain in my back. I've been having lower back pain for a really long time, and I've just been kind of ignoring it. I've been having cold sweats, I've been having body aches, extreme fatigue, all the things, right? So she decided ultimately, she's like, based on your symptoms, I would pretty much say that you may have some sort of like bacteria infection or kidney infection. But because of the persistent headache and because of how long this has been ongoing, we are going to do a full CT scan, and then they did a full body scan. She basically decided to do a full CT scan from my head all the way down. Normally she doesn't like to do that because of the exposure of radiation, but she said in this case I think it's worth it, because we just want to make sure that like there's not a more serious underlying condition that we might be missing. And to me, when I heard that, I was so relieved, because I've been wanting to get a full body scan for the longest time. I am kind of a little bit of a hypochondriac. The fact that I was getting a full body scan, I was so excited, because I have been looking into these clinics that offer that, and they're all just so expensive. So I was like, okay, cool, like I'm ready for this, I can't wait. First they hooked me up to some IVs, and they did actually have my little band-aid still. Looks kind of gross, but yeah. They had hooked me up to an IV, and they gave me a bunch of, they gave me magnesium for my headache and some other stuff that I don't know the name of. My paperwork is over there. After they gave me that IV, some girl came in an hour later, 2 hours later. I kept going in and out of sleep, but she basically took me in a wheelchair. She brought me into the x-ray room, and then she hooked up another IV. And I kind of hate needles, so especially like IV needles, I get freaked out by them. So it was kind of like uncomfortable that I had to go through another IV. They hooked up my IV again, and they put like a blue dye in my body to do the scan. And I guess, I'm assuming, I didn't look into it, but I'm assuming the blue dye kind of goes through your body and shows better on the scan if there is something that shows up in your brain or in your organs, so that they can see it if there is something more serious going on. When they put the blue dye in, oh my God, craziest feeling in the world. She did warn me, she's like, you're gonna feel a little bit warm, don't be alarmed, that's just normal. But when they put the blue dye in and they like entered the IV, I'm like in this little tube thing, and I'm laying down, and I'm kind of claustrophobic a little bit. And she even asked, like, are you claustrophobic? And I was like, yeah, a little bit, I'm claustrophobic. And she's like, well, don't worry, this isn't like the full one where you actually have to stay in there for like a whole hour. Like, this is more of one that just kind of goes in and out, because it's just doing quick scans. So I was like, okay, that's good. When she inserted the blue dye, once it entered my body, like my whole body felt pressure, and it felt so hot. Like I felt like my blood inside of my body was like boiling. Like it was the weirdest, craziest feeling, and I felt like my head was gonna explode. because of the liquid, and I understand they had to do that for the x-rays, but it was like the craziest feeling. I was like, oh my god, I was kind of trying not to freak out in there, but my whole body was like hot, like it was so hot. It felt like my blood was boiling inside of me, even though it wasn't, obviously, but it just was the craziest. I can't even explain. It was the craziest feeling. If you guys have ever done this before, then you know what I'm talking about. Couldn't wait to get this over with. So once they finished that, she wheeled me back into the room, and then this is probably around 2 a.m. at this point. Once it got around to like 4 in the morning, I started to get really cranky and really frustrated because I felt like they're just kind of taking too long. So I started like pressing the red button. I was like, okay, this enough is enough. Like, I need to go home. So I pressed the red button. A nurse came, and when she came, I basically told her, I was like, listen, I can come back if I have to, but I need to go home. Like, at this point, I need to go home. I need to get some sleep. I'm hungry. I'm frustrated. I'm exhausted. I need to go. I want to leave now. I was like, if you guys are not ready with the results, that's totally fine, but I need to go home. I'm not staying here anymore. She was like, okay. She's like, I'm sorry. I know you've been here for a long time. Let me just go check in with the doctor and let her know. And then so the doctor quickly came in after that, and then she was like, hey, I'm so sorry for the wait. She basically, literally, there's this person watching me from their apartment window, and it's so freaking annoying. Hi, I see you. I get I have like a whole setup going on, but it's just so rude, I feel like, when people stare. So she came back in the room, and she basically was like, hey, I'm so sorry for the wait. She's like, we just are still going over your test results, but just to let you know, so far your CT scan came back all clear. There is nothing to be worried about. We did not find anything in your brain. And she said, you know, when we looked at the scans for the rest of your body, they did find a cyst on one of my kidneys. I think it was on my right kidney, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure which one, to be honest. She said luckily that it was benign, which is very good news. However, she did say that I do need to keep an eye on it. So she basically confirmed that I do have a kidney infection, and my body has been fighting off this infection for the last 6 months or so. So that's why I have been, you know, constantly getting sick over and over again. And even the medicines I've been given maybe had been a band-aid temporarily, but it wasn't ultimately fixing the underlying issue. So she gave me some antibiotics for that. I finally got some answers, which was amazing. They are still running tests, so I'm still waiting to hear back on those results. To see if anything else of concern came up. And I'm not gonna lie, when I got home, I obviously asked for a doctor's note, right? Because I was like, it was already 5 o'clock in the morning almost, and I was like, I'm not gonna go into work today. And the previous doctor's note I had only had me excused from work from Thursday, so I needed one for Friday. So I pretty much got the doctor's note, and I sent it to my boss, and I told him, unfortunately, I'm gonna be out again today. I know, I'm sorry, this, that, and the other, that I will basically be back to work on Monday. And since then, although I feel a sense of relief, of course, that it wasn't anything too serious. I mean, it is pretty serious. You know, anything that deals with your kidneys, any vital organs is a pretty serious thing. But I've been in a huge slump since I got home from the emergency room. I feel stressed out of my mind, and I'm very, very close to wanting to quit my job, which I can't do for a lot of reasons. This might sound weird, but I feel like the universe is like really pushing me to quit my job, and I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. I feel so unhappy, and I feel like I can't live my life the way I want to live my life. It just sucks because I know if I'm able to quit my 9 to 5, I can really focus on me, focus on getting myself together, focus on my health. I'm in the midlife crisis in a way where I feel like the universe is pushing me to leave my job like now, and I'm really trying not to because I don't have the means to keep going without a stable salary, a stable paycheck, and of course health insurance and all that good stuff. So it sucks. Like, these last 2 days I've just been in a huge funk. I did say that I want to be honest and transparent on this channel, and I want to tell you guys the good and the bad and the ugly, but I'm here. I just have to deal with the cards that I've been dealt. I don't know if this might relate to anybody out there, but it sucks living in a vicious cycle of not being happy with maybe your life situation, your work situation, just life in general. I'm sure there's so many other people out there. I know there's so many people out there that are going through the same thing mentally. I'm going to do my best to keep going and to keep pushing forward. That's the end of my story. So today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. So tomorrow is my Sunday reset day, and I will unfortunately be back at work on Monday, but I did just want to quickly film this video for you guys to give you a quick update and let you know that I do already have 2 videos sitting and almost ready to go. I just have to finish editing them, and then I should be able to post them this week. Definitely stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love and be so appreciative if you were to subscribe and follow along my journey. I am doing a 60-day YouTube challenge where I'm going to try to film and edit and post as many videos as I can within 60 days as a brand new YouTuber and see where it takes me. And then I'm gonna be sharing with you guys the analytics and how it's going along the journey. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please comment down below if any of this resonates with you, if you've had similar issues with kidney problems or even headaches, because I still can't figure out how to get rid of the headache thing. I would love to connect with you guys who might be going through or have gone through something similar that I'm currently going through right now with my health. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm wishing you guys lots of love and happiness and blessings your way, and I'll see you guys on the next one.